And I'm wondering about, where do you start? I mean, right now I know lots of schools in our area are recommending that teachers send home emails to the parents of the kids in their class, and doing some of what you were saying is on a blog, that this is what happened today. So say that's a first step, either a blog or an email. What are other people thinking about how to use the natural curiosity of kids and the natural desire of kids to learn together, and how does that interface with what we want children to know after they graduate from 8 years or 12 years of religious school or day school?
This is Karen. I don't know that I have answers, but I also want to say that these are the key questions. Like what, and they're huge. Like what does it mean to be a learner today in the 21st century, and what does it mean to be an educator, and what does curriculum look like, and how can we do things that we always wanted to do but couldn't because we didn't have the mechanisms to do it, and now we have these resources to do it. And it's very easy to get caught up in the tools, and it's so important to step back like we're doing and say, what are our educational objectives, and what is there that can help us get there and make that happen. And these tools and resources are means to an end. I've seen educators in religious schools who want to extend their days with their children, with their students, so that they're not just meeting once a week or twice a week, but that there are opportunities for them to get together online, if not face-to-face, socially, to do learning on their own, and to really build a whole generation of learners who know how to navigate these resources. And not just the child students, but also, the professional development for teachers is really key. And like you said, also just rethinking what we can turn our organizations, our educational institutions into, and making them even better than they already are, and enhancing that.
Thank you so much, Karen, for that meta-level view of this whole discussion. I think that was a really helpful piece to add. I really want to respect everyone's time because we only have about 3 minutes left, and I know that we all have very busy schedules. And just in these last few minutes, did anyone have any final questions of things they were hoping to see addressed that have not been addressed yet?
I know, this is Karen again. I would be really interested, if not, in the few minutes that we have left, but, perhaps as a follow-up, to hear what people are doing in their schools, or what they'd like to be doing in their schools, or how they're thinking about things. I think that would be really interesting for all of us.
This is Debbie. Can you hear me?
Yes, we hear you.
So one of the things that I'm curious about is launching an online professional learning community for the various synagogue school teachers across the different schools, by way of sharing and collaborating ideas, lesson plans, and different ways of whether it's using technology or marrying technology and content. And I feel like I've kind of jumped into the deep end of a pool, and I don't know where the edges are. I don't know kind of how to like, I see in my mind what it's supposed to look like, but I'm not sure how to get there, and then how to bring people in a way that is successful and in a way that will grow in participation. And I'd be really open to hearing if you have any suggestions.
I just want to chime in here because I'm working with Debbie on this, and we've been told that Ning is a good place for us to start, and we've been, you all mentioned something about communities of practice in this conversation today, and I think Debbie described it really well, that we would like to benefit by the experience of any other communities that have done this, doing professional development, kind of creating a community of practice for synagogue school teachers. If anybody can give us some insight into their experience.
This is Shari, and so I don't know if everybody's familiar with NACAS, North American Association of Community and Congregational Hebrew High Schools. We've done that on a director level, creating a community of directors of these schools to share best practices. It includes a yearly conference and several phone conferences during the year, and also a listserv where people put out questions and get answers from within the community, which has been an invaluable thing for me. And recently, it used to be just community Hebrew high schools, but recently we opened it up to congregational Hebrew high schools as well, because we felt that what we have all gained as being part of a community like that, where we have colleagues all over the country and we're not constantly reinventing the wheel ourselves, but building on things that we've learned from our colleagues, that what we do is really not so denominationally based, and it's more best practices based, and therefore we thought that it would be helpful to people, even not in a congregational school, but not only in a community school, but also in a congregational school. So if you're not familiar with it, it's NAACCHHS, and Jesna houses it. Thank you to
Yes,
Jesna for
hopefully
doing
you can all see it right now. Are you all seeing the NACAS page on your screen?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that is run by Jesna. I'm sure some of you at least are familiar with DeVore Silverman, who is my colleague who runs that community. And I can attest, it's a very active listserv. This is a group of people who email each other all throughout the day, and who wouldn't have access necessarily to that kind of community on the local level. Because, how many Hebrew high school principals are there in any given town, especially outside of large urban centers? And so, just with this very simple tool of the listserv, they can talk to each other all day long. And you don't have to be a techie to, have a group like this. You can use a Google group if you don't have the infrastructure to really start a formal community of practice. You can just start your own Google group and, talk to your friends who you know. You can call up Hebrew school principals in any town that you want and ask them to join, and then you've got your Google group.
Thank you. That's very practical for us to look at.
And thank you to Jesna, that you guys are you have been so helpful in so many different ways. You guys are just great, I have to say.
Well, thank you. That is really, really great to hear. So we are a couple minutes over time now, so I want to respect everyone's time and end before you all have to go running off. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining this conversation. So I'm going to say thank you and goodbye for now.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.